I'm just curious because I'd like to know. Really, I need some motors. Oh, did we lose you? Okay, let's grab that. I'm not sure if you heard my question then, Mars. I was just asking about your comment there about Highland criticizing the uh, the amount of troops. Um, that certainly could be. Personally, I read it much after the Vietnam War, I guess you could say. And so, in my applying it to the current situations, I didn't see it that way. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask my dad because he was in Vietnam. So, but I don't know that he's read it. Maybe I'll have to ask him about that. Maybe I'll just have to reread the book and try to think about it from that type of perspective. I know for me personally, it was what I got out of it was the kind of the struggle and the growth of the protagonist going into the army and then kind of finding his way and going from enlisted to an officer, and a lot of the growth that he went through during that transition. I guess the interesting caveat to that is because I went through that same process, and so from my personal experience, that's what I got out of it. That book was required reading when I was going through officer candidate school. So let's go ahead and structurally reinforce the frame here. I keep getting messages that you're rejoining the stream. Now, it looks like I'm getting different colors of red blocks here. I don't like that. I want them all the same. Heavy. No, that one should be a heavy. So let me know if you missed any of my my comments there, because I see that you it stated that you were disconnected from the stream, and that one should be a heavy. Oh, Maniacal Moose is back. Nice. You know, I guess part of that would depend on when you read it. As far as what was going on in the world. Oftentimes something like that is also going to be colored by our age at the time. So for me, it was the last time I read it when I was going through OCS was probably about 2006. And so at the time, I'd already done a deployment, and I'd already been a non-com NCO, so I was going through the commissioning program, and so definitely from my personal perspective at that point, I'd have to say that its correlation to Vietnam, I wasn't looking at it from that perspective. So I definitely have to say, you know, thanks for bringing that perspective to me, because it's interesting. Because oh darn it, why is this thing bouncing around so much just because I touch it? I probably ought to get another forward thruster on it. But you know, it's interesting with the interaction. You know what we can pull out. So I think it's cool that we can talk about that, especially having a similar experience there. So did you continue on with ROTC and get a commission? I mean, I'm not gonna get too personal on you here. Well, without getting too political on it, the perspective of the American civilian population, and what we saw on the ground over there were two totally different perspectives. I can't say that when I was there the Iraqis loved us, but they definitely liked us better than the alternative. Yeah, I hear you on that. My first time I tried to enlist, they wouldn't give me a medical waiver, and then 10 years later, I joined the National Guard, and they let me in without any trouble. So, and then a couple of years ago, I sustained my final injury that ended my career, and so now I do this. sometimes. But so as far as Afghanistan, I wasn't involved in Afghanistan at all. So as far as what their directives were and what was happening over there, I don't really have any specific knowledge on. As far as what we were doing when I was in Iraq, it all focused on stabilizing the country, and trying to, well, aside from trying to keep our own soldiers from being killed, trying to help stabilize the region so that the people would hopefully stand up for themselves. Unfortunately, when you have a population that has been oppressed for so long, they're afraid to stand up. Whereas we, when we decided that we wanted to be free of the yoke of tyranny, you know, as a society, I think we stood up, but it still takes the individuals to stand up. And over there, they were so afraid that they didn't want to. It's interesting because now they're talking about sending another 80,000 troops back over to handle this ISIS group. As far as what we did when I went over, and I was there early on. I was there in 2003, and basically we helped rebuild a lot of the roads. We worked to just kind of keep the peace in a lot of ways because there was so much turmoil after Saddam Hussein was removed from power. Kind of thinking about that, one of the strange memories is when you're driving down the road and you're in a hostile country, and you see just the average person on the side of the road carrying their AK-47. And you're supposed to just, you know, not care about it because that's what they're allowed. The moon is a harsh mistress. I don't think I've read that one. I've read quite a bit of Heinlein, actually. I also like Orson Scott Card, and I know that a lot of people, when they hear that name, one of the first things they think of is Ender's Game. But she had a lot of things that I really enjoyed reading, and I mean, yes, absolutely, Ender's Game is one of them, but that's not the only one. I think one of my favorites by him is The Door into Summer. Although I could be confusing that one with Heinlein. Yeah. Okay, I need some of that. So how you doing tonight, Moose? You're quiet so far.